ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. I'm back with another Metal Earth kit. This is not going to fall in the series of the sci-fi and video games that I've done a lot of. I've actually decided to take a moment to go off track and build the Eiffel Tower. And it's in a little bit of honor to France for the things that they've recently gone through, that we stand with you, we're thinking about you. And it's not just France. Honestly, there were attacks going, before this. There's attacks worldwide, terrorist attacks. France has gotten probably the most news coverage, but let's not forget that there are others, and it is a big problem. But I'm going to take this opportunity to build the Eiffel Tower and say, we're with you. This, I believe, is just a one-sheet kit. I don't believe it's as complicated as the ones that I've been doing, but let's open it up and find out. Your instructions and the sheet. Yeah, it's just one sheet. Not a lot of parts. The instructions are, looks like they're just one-sided. You have front side and then nothing on the back. You've got the picture, you've got a little diagram here that shows you, it tells you about the the folds and the tabs and the insert, the insert in the holes. There's a little bit here about needle nose pliers are helpful for assembly. And it doesn't say on the back of this kit, like it's done on a lot of the other kits that I've built. It doesn't say anything about tweezers on the outside. A lot of the kits have said, you can build this with tweezers, or tweezers are, useful for everything. Or this one, you can use tweezers, I'm sure. Needle nose pliers, I'm sure, will be helpful. And then you have your little bit here. There's basically two different ways you fold or bend the tabs. When you insert a tab through a slot, if there's a blue circle, it means to insert the tab and bend it over. If there's a green triangle, it means to twist it. If, for instance, over here you've got these blue circles on these tabs, these are to be folded over. They're outside tabs, so that makes a lot of sense. There's some green triangles over here, which is, kind of underneath and not easily visible. The green triangles mean twist, and twist tabs are frequently more secure given the situation. And you also have this layout of the parts on the sheet and the numbers to tell you which part you're looking for. Flowchart is fairly simple. The parts are numbered. You kind of go in order of the numbers. Usually it's divided into quarters, so you would start in this quarter top page. You would go down to the bottom right quarter and then move over to the left corner, and there's arrows in each section that kind of point you which way to go. This is a very simple kit, so I don't think I'm going to need a lot. I've got my Fascinations toolkit here, the clippers, which are good for taking parts off of the sheet or spruce or trees. Needle nose pliers, which are great for bending, twisting tabs, shaping. Flat nose pliers, also good for bending and shaping. And then I have tweezers, which I do use a lot. And it's possible I may end up using something like these long forceps. They're narrow and able to get into tighter places than the others, and they lock. So they're good for holding on to small parts that are too tiny for my hands. And I may also use a dental pick. I find that I frequently use these to help shape things. So let me start.
We start from the top. The first two pieces slide into one another to form the top of the tower, and then attach to the platform. The next part is the 4 longer or taller sides. These 4 are tricky to put together. I ended up bending over the 2 tabs on 2 of the pieces at a 45-degree angle, then put those 2 pieces together at first along with the third. While carefully holding that together, then added the fourth. I secured the upper, more narrow part first, carefully bending over the tabs with my fingernails. And then went back to attach the bottom tabs. Then I secured them even more by pinching the tabs with the pliers. Two of the side pieces have tabs pointing down. Be sure to put those sides opposite each other. Then you have to attach the top portion. I would suggest waiting until you attach and twist the tabs before bending up the side railings. I tried to bend the sides up first and there was not enough room to reach the tabs. After bending up the sides about halfway, I pushed the sides the rest of the way into place by pushing them against the flat table. It may take some wiggling to get all the tabs into place. I bent the rails on the second platform slightly, but not all the way, so the bend was started evenly, but I would still have room to twist the tabs. Make sure that you bend both of the pieces the correct way. If you bend one backwards, they will not fit properly. As you start to work your way down the tower, you will find it easier to bend the next set of connecting tabs to face in the same direction. It will be off at an angle because the tower is at an angle. Straightening them will make them easier to attach. I could not push the railings against the table to push them the rest of the way in because of the curve of the tower, so I grabbed a small board and used that. Some of these tabs can end up pretty close to the frame. You may have to pry them out a little before twisting them. I carefully bent up the sides of the bottom piece partway and used the board to finish the bend.
And I present to you the Eiffel Tower. This is a simple kit, as in it doesn't have very many pieces. It is a pretty good starter kit if you're wanting to get into the metal earth stuff and want to kind of get your feet wet before doing something very complicated. It is tricky, however. This top part, this top section is 4 pieces, and it's very difficult to hold those together and bend the tabs. Plus you have to use tweezers or pliers, preferably needle nose pliers, something long, to hold it so that when you bend the tabs you don't bend the actual side piece. I did forget a valuable lesson that I've learned in the past. In these side pieces I folded up before I put it together, and I shouldn't have done that all the way. I ended up having to peel back the railings to be able to get to the tabs to twist them, because otherwise there was not enough room for the tweezers. But there you go. I will say this is the first time I've ever bled making one of these kits. The way these trees are, there's some very pointed areas in the metal here and here, here and here, that one of them ended up stabbing me in the finger. So be careful of that. Looking back, I probably would have taken the clippers and trimmed those points off just to keep myself safe, but in the end, it's all done. So, to France and to all the other parts of the world that are suffering from terrorist attacks, and we hope that this will stop. We hope that there will be peace, and we're with you. Thank you for watching. Questions or comments, leave them down below. Keep on keeping on.